Okay, so we are live, y'all. Good evening. Good evening. Listen, we got a little something, waiting for y'all. We're going to get into some good conversation. We're talking about how to expand your network. So I have a few really, really good, dope people that's on this live right now. And we're going to go ahead and get into some introductions. So we're going to start with Miss Juliet first, and then go to Miss Jamie, and then we're going to end with the man, Mr. Sean. So go ahead, Miss Juliet, just let everybody know who you are, where you are, and what you're doing.
Okay, my name is Juliet Douglas Sands. I'm from Jamaica, but I live in the Bahamas. And yeah, that's it.
All right. Miss Jamie.
Yes, hello. I am Jamie Lowry. I'm actually based out of Florida. I am been here in what Forex for about 4 months, and I'm also a business entrepreneur. I have my own business called Tilly's Jewelry. So, yep, pretty much.
Okay. Mr. Sean.
Awesome. This is Sean James out of Atlanta, Georgia, known as your financial wealth educator. I'm a motivational speaker, author, and a foreign exchange and cryptocurrency trader.
Look at him just laying all of that stuff out. See,
Yes,
that's why I wanted you to go last, because I know how you do. So so for everyone that does not know, if you're watching on YouTube and you have not looked at my channel, or you're looking at this on Prosperity Calls or my Facebook or anything like that, I'm Leona Clark. I'm an Army veteran. I am a entrepreneur as well now. I have a company called Prosperity Calls. I day trade. I do the same thing, the foreign exchange, cryptocurrency, binary options. I invest in companies using the stock market and real estate as well. So I have my hands in multiple pots. I'm trying to get like those other multimillionaires and everything, and expand my network and build that generational wealth. So now that we have all those introductions out of the way, saying who we are, okay, I want to get into the conversation. So we're talking about expanding our network, but just let's kind of get into a couple of things. I'm gonna start with you, Miss Juliet. Okay. So you said that you're in the Bahamas.
Mhm.
Okay. So my question to you is, one is, how did we meet? And then what attracted you to trading? What is it that attracted you to trading?
Okay, well, my husband has been trading for quite some time now, so I have been around it a lot, but I never took interest into it like that. Since the pandemic, I decided, you know what? It's time for me to actually start because I see where it's beneficial. And having kids, three kids, one in college, one in preschool, you need to have that financial stability. So
Mhm.
that's basically what got me to the point where I needed to educate myself about it. The thing how I met Miss Leona now is one afternoon, I was just sitting down and I'm like, you know what? I really need to take this to a different level. I opened my IG, and the first person that popped in my face was Miss Leona, basically telling what the trading was all about. And I'm like, you know what? This must be a sign. So I immediately went onto her page and I RSV for her Wednesday call. I was so impressed. I was so impressed by Thursday. It was Thursday, right, Leona? Yes, by
Mhm.
Thursday, I was in the group and ready to go. And I must say, Miss Leona is an awesome mentor. Okay.
Oh, thank you so very much. Now, look, before we get to Miss Jamie and Sean, Mr. Sean, I want to say something. Miss Juliet has only been with us for 3 weeks. And when I
Wow.
say this woman is on it, listen, I'm talking about studying, hitting those take profits, listening to the educators, always on trading calls. When we have those trading calls Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, she's on every single one, morning and evening. So that just says a little bit about, you know, her and what she's looking to do. So I just want to shout her out because she is awesome. She is amazing. So yeah, now that we got that part out the way, Miss Jamie and Mr. Sean, I got something different for y'all. So we already know you all have been trading for a while, okay? But I want to know, and hopefully you can explain to those that are viewing this. So since you have joined, we're all a part of I Am Mastery Academy. So since you have joined I Am Mastery Academy, what are some of the other opportunities that have been made available to you outside of just trading? Miss Jamie.
Yes, for me, opportunities that's been available to me have been, you know, just networking, meeting new people, meeting people that that I can now learn from. A new circle of people that have wealthy mindsets, which I definitely is a plus for me. I've always stated that, you know, I always see myself wealthy. I was just needing to know the vehicle which to get there. And I Am Academy has brought that, you know, that option to me to be able to um, really learn about, you know, first of all, trading itself, and then just having a wealthy mindset about being around a group of, we call ourselves Team Wealth Builders on Sean's team, which I might add is an awesome mentor and it's a great family oriented to be a part of. We're so happy to be able to partner up with him and just different little, you know, adventures where we go through, you know. He's always there to help us, you know, lead us and guide us. We have questions because I can have a billion questions to ask him, and he's there to answer them. So it's just a good thing to have somebody who, you know, can take you out your comfort zone. And also just, you know, can see other things that you didn't really know that you had. And a lot of times it helps with, you know, people that are in groups that can also see different qualities in you that you might have known that you might have possessed, but you just really haven't tapped into, and they can help.
Right.
They can help bring those particular gifts and talents out of you. And I would say, you know, with Sean as a mentor, he sees those things and he helps to bring those things out of you that you may not have, you know, just sometimes may have seen on your own, but you really just ain't really tapped into. So to be a part of a group of individuals who have like minds and want to build and want to see legacies and generational wealth transfer to their families is very important for me, something I have been seeking. And then it's just goes on from there, you know, with investments. People have just minds to soar wealthy. And I love that about the networking group that I'm in with Wealth Builders.
Awesome. Now, Mr. Sean, I got the same question for you. What are the other opportunities that have been made available to you? And also, can you let people know like how long you've been doing it, so that way they get an idea of, you know, the different levels?
Okay, cool. Well, absolutely. My background actually had been in finance. I've been in the financial industry probably about 20 years doing credit financing and collections financing. And so what I learned is when you start getting into day trading, it opens up a whole new door of language for wealthy people. Okay, so wealthy people understand investing. So what that did was it allowed me to be in other conversations. So when you're out there and you're networking with people, well, it connects you to people with relationships. Is your conversation about, you know, just the kids? Is it about, you know, just what happened on TV? Is sports? Because you have sports conversations, you know, you got kids conversations, and then, you know, you even got broke conversations, you know. Oh man, you know, these bills, how you doing? Well, you know, it's rough again, you know, I just gotta grind it. Or, you know, you can start having wealthy conversations where you're talking about, you know, what are you investing to? What are some of the opportunities that you're looking into? So that opened the door for me to have more conversations to develop better relationships, which meant I was now talking from where it was not just employees, but now I'm talking to other managers, other VPs. I'm talking to other district managers, and then I'm talking to business owners and self-employed people. And of course, that opened the door to different networks. So as I started having the conversation with my day trading, which I've been doing for over 3 years, now that's allowed me to talk to real estate agents who understand that real estate is a place they want to invest in. So now I can talk about diversifying their portfolios by day trading and doing real estate investing. And then, of course, I'll talk to other people. I never really thought about Bitcoin before until I started day trading. So now I'm talking to people about their Bitcoin, investing and, them buying it and then selling it and all that other stuff, owning it. So that's a whole different conversation there. And then obviously after that, I started talking to people about gold and silver. I never really thought about owning gold or silver, but because I'm in this conversation with people that understand that investing in portfolios happen, now I'm having these conversations that allow me to go deeper and deeper into these relationships. And that's really what wealthy people do, is it's about their relationships. It's not just what you know knowledge wise, but it's about who are your relationships. Like, our mom and dad say, I show you the 5 closest people you hang with, I can show you who you are. So you hang around 5 people that are doing let's say bungee jumping, you probably are a bungee jumper too. You got 5 people that are are skaters or dancers or clubbers or whatever. Guess what? You're probably that person too. But here's the thing: if you're in a conversation where 5 of you are constantly talking about wealth principles, then guess what? Most likely you're going to grow into having, becoming that type of person with that type of conversation. So that's what it's allowed me to do, is just to now expand my conversations and my relationships into different business sectors where we can now talk about different wealth creating principles.
You mentioned something, and I just saw, I was listening to Les Brown on YouTube, of course, one of his speeches, and he was talking about how he have different friends for different things. So not saying that you necessarily, if you are a person who says, I want more, I want to have, a different conversation, like Sean was saying, he pretty much was talking about how he has the friends who he talked to specifically about, expanding as a motivational speaker. Then he have his friends that he talk to on a daily, weekly, however often basis about losing weight. They've been saying they're gonna lose weight and they're gonna, do this diet and they're gonna work out and all that for 5-10 years. And he now 60 some odd years old and they still ain't done it. But that's their conversation, right? So he was saying pretty much that you have you don't have to necessarily cut people off just because you're moving into a different area of your life. All you're doing is just knowing what type of conversation you're going to have with certain people. Okay. So what that has done, especially for me, since joining, I didn't know how to go about purchasing gold and silver. Now I know, and that's just being honest. So now I'm waiting on mine to come in. I knew a bit about cryptocurrency before joining, but I didn't know, the strategy. I didn't understand what I'm supposed to look for to know whether to buy whatever cryptocurrency. You know what I'm saying? It was just someone told us about it and they said, hey, you need to start buying. And I'm like, what exactly am I buying? And how do I buy it? Like, what am I doing? So I was just pretty much spinning my wheels. So for me, that has definitely helped when joining, this network, and you have all of these people who are business minded and wealth building. Okay. It helped me to be able to get into that mindset as well and push me more. And now I'm able to share more information because I know more. I've always been a sharer, so now I can do that as well. I can share more information to people who don't know, who didn't know, just like I didn't know for a long time. So those are definitely great points. I'm glad that we're having this conversation, and I hope that people are definitely listening in, and then commenting. Please comment, ladies and gentlemen. If it's anything that you want to, want us to address at any point, you have questions about, just go on ahead and throw that in the comments. And then, we do this again next Friday. Hopefully we'll be able to get to your question. So Ms. Juliet, I have another one for you. So since you initially were kind of, you know, in the space of trading, but you weren't really trading and you didn't start until COVID. Since then, how has trading impacted your life?
Well, I mean, it has provided a lot of family time, and I've been home since March. So I'm trying to balance work, being a mom, being a wife, and it provides family time, financial possibilities, and freedom. So at
Yes.
least I know if this is something I continue with, I know I could put myself in a position so that my kids would be in a position not to be the position that I am a couple of years ago. They'll be better off than I am. So I'm happy, and it actually goes hand in hand with my daily schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So, Miss Jamie and Mr. Sean, so we already know that y'all trade and then you're business owners, but there's another opportunity besides just trading with I Am Mastery Academy. So I just want to ask y'all, when we're talking about the other side of I Am Mastery Academy, what type of connections have you made since you have become an independent business owner with I Am Mastery Academy?
Go ahead, Jamie. I'll let you. Ladies first.
Okay, no, I heard it briefly the question because you were sort of breaking up. What was it
Okay,
again?
so I was
You said
asking what type of
of what?
connections have you made since becoming an independent business owner with I Am Mastery Academy?
Okay, so connections that I have made have been with, like by networking. We have at the I Am Academy, we have what very much connections with wealthy people that makes like 7, 8 figures. So we even got educators that we can get online with who teach us what they know, and they've been a part of the business for like years. So we're pretty much learning from top notch educators who've been part of trading for years and know their business. So we get that type of networking and that type of connection from educational platform, and also just people like I'm also a business partner with Sean, but I'm also up under Dr. Jewel Tankard's leadership, which she is a business mogul within itself too. She's a investor. She's a pretty much a celebrity person. Is people know her on TV. She's a pastor. She's a mother. She's a auntie, grandmother. All those things collabed in one. So, and also like real estate, she has property. She owns properties different places. So we have to be under that umbrella as well to learn just from her itself, which is a great connection because any type of questions that I have, if I can't go through Sean, I can actually reach out to her. I'm also in her Millionaires Club, which is a great connection for women who are aspiring millionaires. So I learn hands-on information about gold, silver, real estate, Bitcoin, all these different things that I would never have heard on my own. Just being around just people who don't talk like have these type of wealth conversations, and I have the opportunity to get online with her directly, and she talks about these different things, life situations, and just things to think about in the future to get yourself prepared for legacy, and also family generations to come. So just to be connected with her, and then also this wealth circle that I'm in with the Wealth Builders team within itself is a great connections, because within those connections they know people who knows people, and then you can it's just limitless.
All right. Mr. Sean, same question, sir.
All right. So if I can reiterate that, since my time in I Am Master Academy, what kind of connections have I made since I've been here for the last 3 years? So, the great thing about it is, we all look at like our Facebook page, and, we're in the whole mode of acquiring friends. You want more friends on your Instagram, you want more friends on your Facebook page. And so of course you're expanding a network right there. but then everything that you do also expands into a network of relationships. And so the great thing about I Am Master Academy is I'm meeting people from all around the world that I couldn't even imagine that I would have connected with just on my Facebook or just on my IG, because everybody's talking about the conversation of growing their money, especially during the time of the pandemic. So I've been able to meet people of all backgrounds and demographics. So it didn't matter if they were white or black or blue or green, whatever the case may be. It didn't matter if you were Muslim or Christian or not. It didn't matter if you came from India or Africa or UK or Canada. We've been linked together doing it. And so I meet people on a daily basis from all over the world that want to have this conversation, that are looking to go ahead and have a conversation about wealth principles. And so that's what talking about training does. And so, I mean, on our team, I mean, I can't disclose names and all that other stuff, but I mean, we have actors on our team. We have people that are ministers on our team and pastors of big mega churches. I mean, we have entertainers, we have authors, we have a couple motivational speakers that are on our team. I mean, we have people from every walk of life. And it's because the conversation of wealth goes across all lines. Okay, everybody is trying to upgrade their lifestyle in one way or another. And we're hoping that you're wanting to do that also. And so that's why when, money is green, and guess what? I don't care what country you go to, everybody understands the language of money. I mean, even when you don't have it, you understand it. When you got a lot of it, you understand it. Even if you can't speak that country's language, when you pull money out, people understand that universal language of money. And so that's kind of what you're exposed to when you're expanding a network. So I'm just blessed to meet so many incredibly intelligent people. I'm really excited that we're starting to get to know, because I'm in the later, kind of mid to later 40s, I get to connect with millennials a lot more, because millennials see the growth in technology and how we're evolving. Mm-hmm. They understand that trading is the future, and understand that Bitcoin, that everybody around the world, no matter what country you come from, what age, that Bitcoin is now kind of the new language of money. And so this is what kind of unites us together. So I can have a conversation with a millennial and talk about cryptocurrency, and they're like, wow, we kind of see it. We want to learn more. Mm-hmm. And then I can talk to somebody who's in their later 60s, 70s, and 80s, and they're getting it. They're wanting to know more about it. So this is just a great space where I've been connected with phenomenal business-minded people, artist type people who are very artistic. This space works well for if you have an artistic side about you, because it allows you to be creative in your sense of learning different strategies to kind of attack a certain problem or a solution. So you're able to use those artistic juices of yours to do it. So it doesn't matter what your background. You don't have to be super analytical. You could be very, passive and non-analytical and thrive in this space. So yeah, I met some incredible people like yourselves, ladies. Just the various backgrounds that you come from. I admit that years ago, I never imagined that, people that look like me would be in this space. And now just look, I'm able to connect with people all around the world that look like me, and then people that talk like me, as far as, whatever race or background you're from, we all can unite over the same conversation.
Awesome. So I have, just a quick thought. When we were talking about the connections and stuff, one of the things for me is I tell everybody this. So I had that, as Miss Wanda Webb would say, that poverty mindset for the longest. I grew up in the projects, nobody that I knew owned a home. They didn't have their own business. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't grow up seeing that. So for a very long time, even while in the Army, it took for me to hear multiple times from different mentors like Leona or Clark, I need you to start doing this. I need you to do that. I need you, like they were saying it over and over again. And it took for me to, finally say to myself, okay, yeah, I'm doing okay, but I want to be doing great. And finally to get into that space end up in the circle to where I'm seeing and hearing the same conversation over and over again. So now for me, it became repetition. So those connections actually helped me to, bring prosperity calls to life. Right. So now instead of me just being an Army veteran and collecting a retirement check, I'm an Army veteran that's an entrepreneur. And on top of that, I'm trading and I'm teaching people and I'm helping other people to be able to get those same connections that I had. So becoming a business owner in this space, helps me to connect with other people. Like both of y'all were saying, you get to meet people from all walks of life, from all different countries and everything. And it's exciting to me because it reminds me of the Army. Yeah. In the Army, we get to travel and go to different countries and experience different cultures and stuff. So it's the same thing. So it kind of gives me that I'm still at home, with the Army type of vibe. So that's what has, helped me and has definitely been a connection for me, is being able to still do some part of, Army life that I've grown accustomed to and that I enjoy. So, Miss Juliet, I have to ask, because being that you are the newer trader, right? What advice would you give to a person that's considering trading?
The best advice I could give to that person is to stay optimistic, about the journey, stay motivated, and it's not going to come overnight. You have to practice. Most persons would say practice until you're perfect. As a coach, I'll tell my athletes they have to practice until it becomes permanent. And when you get up and you look at it, okay, then, this, you could take this trade, that's not a good trade, but it will not come overnight. The skill set will not come overnight. So you have to practice, you have to read, Good. And, if they plan on doing it, taking it for a lifetime, make sure they start off with a mentor. Yes. Make sure that they start off with a mentor. Because, doing it on your own, if you don't have that person above you to say, guess what? How do I do this? How do I do that? You can call upon them at any time. It makes the world an easier place. Good. And, all of you guys touched this one point, being around person that are like-minded. Good. That the same conversation, it really helps. That will take you from level 1 to level 10 instantly. Good. So, practice becomes permanent, and being around like-mindedness, and also getting a mentor.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you so very much. So I hope, those that are kind of on the fence listening to Miss Juliet, okay, please listen to my dear sister, my lovely sister. Okay. Now, Miss Jamie, I have a different question for you, because last time we talked about that, y'all gave, y'all advice to people in that aspect about trading. But I want to ask you and Mr. Sean here. So what is the advice that you'll give to a person that wants to become a business owner, but they don't know how to start?
Who wants to become a business owner?
Yes, and don't know how to start.
I want to make sure that person understands independent business owner.
Yes, ma'am.
I think she's froze.
I think so.
Well, so
okay.
Let's say, going off on. Hold on. Wait, we back on? We good?
Yep.
Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, an independent business owner, what I would say, just to make sure that you have the people skills, because it takes you really leading a team and just being humble, and always say, even though sometimes when you may gather a team, you still want to be in a student mindset, like you learning, because you may not know everything, You may learn from your students, those that you are leadership over. So always have a humble attitude where when they're asking a question, or they may say, they may give you an answer, you like, oh, you know what, that's right. Just stay in that mindset that you can always learn from each individual, whether you're a leader or not. But it has its rewards, it has its benefits. With IBO and IM Academy, you have residuals where you can definitely, as you become a leader, you have the opportunity to share information with them and get exactly plugged into the IM Academy. And they can also benefit as they come aboard. And that's something they want to do. As the IBO, how you benefit as you gradually get people plugged into this wonderful platform, then you get reward for that. And it's different, different amounts of people that you actually can bring in, and it ranks up from there. So I say, if you have that ability to lead, and also be humble at the same time, and be a student of learning at the same time, then I believe that's something that you could do. And I believe everybody has a leader in them. Sometimes it just has to be typed into. But like I said, if you've had that, like myself personally, I think I said this on your last prosperity call, was I was always in management. So I was in school where every time they had something like, group activity, everybody would nominate me as a leader. And I would be like, y'all can do it. No, we want Jamie. Go ahead, Jamie, you can do it. I was always pushed out there. I don't know if that was my personality. I had confidence like that. But ever since I was in, after I graduated from college, I've always been in a management position. So I just had that. I guess it was just a strong personality. But even like I said, with that, it still takes humility, and also takes you still wanting to be in a place of learning, so you can always grow. So if you have that type of mindset that you always want to grow and always want to learn, and then you can lead, and you like you're a people person, then yeah, I would say definitely IBO would be something that you could definitely be involved and benefit from.
Okay. Mr. Sean, what advice would you give to a person that wants to become a business owner but doesn't know how to start?
Well, the first thing is, when I first started the very first business I had, I think I was in my 20s, probably 22, 23. And here's what I learned about business in general. Of course, anybody can get into their own business, but there's certain skills that you're going to need to have if you're going to have a successful business. And so the first thing is, you got to have time management skills. Okay, that's the first thing. If you can't manage your time to be able to prioritize things here, there, and everywhere else, you're going to fail from day one. So that's the main thing about it, starting a business. It's not even about, everybody says, oh, a business idea, business plan, and all that. No, the first thing is you have to have time management. So if you're not good with time, if you show up late to things, or you wake up on your own time and just be like, I'll get there when I get there, I wouldn't recommend that you start a business. Okay, because business has to do with timely things. Things have to be on time from the beginning. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, you are going to have to have some sort of administrative type skills. Okay, you're going to have to be able to file paperwork. You're going to have to be able to put receipts away. You're going to be able to follow and put up transactions. So no matter what business that you start, you're going to have to be good at admin skills. And if that's something that you need to work on, then guess what? Get a job or do a part-time job and work on the admin stuff. Okay, read about it, try to talk to people who are in the administrative field and learn what they do, and make that a part of you learning that skill set so that you can have a successful business. Another thing I learned is accounting. Now, I know people say, oh, I'm not a numbers person. Well, I'm gonna be real honest with you. You're not going to be able to make dollars if you can't count cents. All right, you're not gonna. You can't make dollars if you can't count cents. And so, you really have to know accounting. You have to know what's coming in your business. You got to know what you're spending out of your business. You got to know how much you're going to invest into your business, because a business is a foundational thing that you have to keep building on over and over again, day after day, week after week, month after month, to build it into something profitable. And if you don't know how to manage your money, from the get-go. If you can't manage a penny, you surely can't be trusted with a dollar. Okay, so you definitely have to be able to have those skills in place. And then it's going to take some good customer service. I know we always talk about leadership, but it's easy to kind of delegate and do certain things, but I'm very big on customer service. Servant leadership is very important, or just servitude in itself. If you want to provide a service or a product out to the public, then you got to make sure that you put those other things, those other skills I just named, but you also got to have great customer service. You got to answer people's questions when they want to know more about your product or service. You got to be able to, have conflict resolution. And when they have a problem, you need to hurry up and address those issues quickly. Not, oh man, I don't want to deal with that. Let me shove it on somebody else. Because if you do that, you're going to have a very lousy business. Okay, so you can't have that part there. Customer service is number one. There's a reason that back in the 80s, people don't know, but, we were in competition with the Asian market in Japan, in China, because they focused on having top-notch customer service. And they were beating out the United States at one time because their customer service was just impeccable. If you went to their hotels, they knew your name, your room, your favorite food, and everything before you checked into the hotel. When you got there, they had a person waiting at the door to greet you, to take your bags right from the very door. They already had everything in place. And so, there's a competition around on who has the best business, not because of just great leadership, but because who has great customer service. And nowadays, customer service is almost rare now, good customer service. Just imagine you walk into a business and you sat at a table and it took 5 minutes for somebody to recognize you, or you want to exchange something and the person behind the counter had an attitude. So these aren't, if you don't pay attention to these little things, then you're not going to build a great profitable business. And then, of course, the last thing is going to be leadership. But leadership doesn't really start from the front. It actually starts from the back. When you have partners, employees, people like that, if you're not, supporting them and helping building them up as a leader, then you're not going to have a staff of great leaders to help you build that business. If you're a bossy person and you think, okay, I don't play and I'm going to do it my way and all that. Yeah, you'll grow a business to a certain level, but you're not going to be able to go beyond a certain level because you don't have that servant leadership type attitude. So I found out that these are the core things that have helped me to build businesses in the past. I've been a chief operations officer of a mid-sized company here in the Atlanta area. We had a staff of over 400 officers in about 4 different states, and we actually dealt with international clients. And I had to learn, to have great customer service, to have great time management. We definitely had to deal with accounting, and we had to, be able to serve the people that work with us and the people that work for us. Okay. And so these are the pillars that I find is going to be great. So to start a business, you got to have, do some research. Some people just jump out here and say, oh, I got a business, I'm just going to jump out here. You can jump out here, but if you don't have a little research done as far as who you're targeting, how are you going to market this? Is your idea original or is there a competition? How do you fit into the marketplace? So, you got to do a little bit of research instead of just, oh, I got a logo, I got a name, I got an LLC and an EIN number. Now I'm ready to rock and roll, and then I'm going to just kind of figure it out along the way. That's a recipe for disaster. Okay. And so you want to have a system. Okay. Great businesses have great systems. Now, McDonald's is not the best food in the world, but they're one of the largest food businesses in the world. Okay. Yep. We have a great system put in place. You can open up a McDonald's in 2 weeks and it can do, over 100,000 or almost $1 million a month in revenue just in the first month. Okay. And so it's very important that you have a good system on the way that you do business. I don't care if you do a jewelry business. I don't care if you do a makeup business. I don't care if you do a t-shirt printing business or whether you're doing a drink business. If you don't have a system of a foundation or of how you do your processes, then you can't scale up. Okay, so scaling up means you start off small and you have the idea of growing it into a bigger business. So if you don't think about it, working out the processes in the small period, then you definitely can't scale up to a big period. If you're all over the place and you're not time managing and you only got about, 35 customers, what you going to do when you have 300 customers?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? You're going to set yourself up for failure. And this is why businesses fail in the first 3 to 5 years. Okay. This is exactly the reason why, because they're missing those crucial parts. And so doesn't matter what your background is, doesn't matter what your education level is. If you can put those pieces of the puzzle together, anybody, especially here in the United States, well, of course, we're talking all over the world, but especially here in the United States, the land of freedom, the land of capitalization, the land of, no restrictions. You can come and build any business of any sort here. If you get those pillars straight, you can have the best business in the world.
So you mentioned a couple of things, and when you were speaking, I was thinking about when I was listening to Tony Robbins, one of his interviews. So he was talking about leaders, right? Building leaders. You have to select leaders who have, certain similar morals and values like you, similar work ethic and everything. Not just, well, that's my friend or that's my cousin and we're cool and I want to put them on and give them a job, when you know that they may not be good supervisors, right? So that's one of those things to just pretty much look into. And then he was talking about building leaders that can make their own decisions. That's how he's able to have multiple businesses. So Sean brought up a good point about doing your own research. One of the things that is what I would suggest to people is, first and foremost, ask questions. Mm-hmm. Ask questions, ask questions, ask questions, especially to someone who is already successful in the area that you're looking to build a business. So when he was talking about research and know if it's oversaturated or, if people are actually looking for this particular service or product or whatever, ask questions. Find a mentor. So it's the same thing with trading. When we're saying to find a mentor for trading, you need to do the same thing when you're looking to build a business. Because you do the same thing when you're working in corporate America, when you're in the military, you look for a mentor to help you to get to the next level, whatever that is, and whatever career field that you're in. So do the same thing, apply the same principles when you're looking to start a business. Ask questions. I ask questions all day, every day. I'm doing research all day, every day. And I've only been up for 2 months, but I'm going to continue to do that. I'm going to continue to watch, listen to interviews of, people who have made it, that have multiple businesses and that's been in business for decades. I listen to them talk. They give out nuggets and jewels. Rich, wealthy people give out nuggets all day, every day. And they do that because they know that a large percentage of people are not going to do it anyway. One I listened to, I cannot remember this young man's name, but he's a billionaire. And he said it. He was like, wealthy people give out information all day because they know that people are not going to listen. He said you will have maybe 1% or even less than that actually listen, take notes, and apply what they've heard. So if you are honest about wanting to start a business, whether it's with building, a network marketing business, doing affiliate marketing, whether it's in a hard structure and you're not looking to do online businesses or internet marketing or anything like that. If whatever type of business you're looking to do, ask questions, do research like Sean said, and also the goal is to build leaders that can make their own decisions. So that way you have a system in place like he spoke of, to where when you're in Greece, you're in Spain, when you're away from your home, when you're away from that business, it continues to run smoothly and you continue to make money, whether you are present or not. That is the end goal. Period. So, last question, ladies and gentlemen. This is for everybody, okay? So we're gonna start with Ms. Juliet, of course. But I want to know, what are your thoughts about learning how to maneuver in this digital era right now?
I mean, as we could see, technology is advancing, and it's no surprise, and that the economical world is becoming digital. So the information and knowledge we access on a daily basis, and what we have learned years ago, they quickly become outdated. So, we have to keep learning and updating ourselves so we can grow and keep up with the digital world.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Miss Jamie, what are your thoughts about learning how to maneuver in this digital era that we're in? Did she freeze again?
I always, always like I said, can you hear me? I'm not frozen, all right? Can you hear me?
Yes.
You good?
Am I frozen?
Nope.
Am I good?
Yep.
Yes.
Can you
You're
hear
good.
me? Okay. All right. So, all right. In the digital era, I think like I said, you should always just have a mindset of a student. People, and I'll keep saying that when you have a mindset to always want to learn, you always grow. And I'll repeat that. You have a mindset of wanting to always learn, you will always grow. So whenever we're moving into that digital space, and it's important that people, learn what that is. If you don't know anything about a Zoom call, if you don't know anything about IG, you don't know anything about Facebook, Twitter, these things, they're not going to leave. They're actually, these are now tools that people are using to start businesses, to promote businesses, to market businesses. And then even those businesses that you go to, like the malls, the different places, the movie theater, all these different things that you're accustomed to going to, driving to, parking your car and going inside of a particular building. These things are going to now transition into the digital space. A lot of these things are going to start going on in internet. When I say digital space, what I would say the internet, the digital space per se, like those things like cryptocurrency, those things like Bitcoin, those things like silver, gold. You need to educate yourself on some of these things, because we're not sure how long we'll be able to use the dollars now. A lot of times we are now transit those things, silver, gold, and cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. If you don't know what I'm talking about, educate yourself on it. Google it. Google what Bitcoin is. Google what cryptocurrency is. Google what silver is. What is stocks? What are those things, that can actually I can invest in to increase my finances? Those things that I can, get involved in to build wealth. Educate yourself on those things, because a lot of these things will come about. And then if you don't know anything about them, you'll just sort of be in that space of like, I don't know what you're talking about. And everybody else is on board with these things, and you're just sort of sitting out there on the outer space planet, like, I don't know what to do. Just for example, a lot of when COVID-19 went down, a lot of the churches had to go online. Had to start now using Facebook to speak to their congregations. If you was a pastor, if you were a minister, and didn't like Facebook, you didn't have that that mindset to even transition with those times. To be able to continue to connect with your congregation, be able to continue to connect with the people, so you can keep that direct connection. So nothing's weird about it. It's just you learning, learning the times, learning what's going on, and just learning to change. Nothing's wrong with change. When things happen, just like you said, do research on it. See if something that you can, get involved in. If it's nothing that you're going to get involved in, just learn. At least you educated yourself on it. And when somebody speaks on it, you know what they're talking about. Just making yourself socially aware of things, and making yourself, instead of all about the politics, but just making yourself aware of the digital things, currencies, finances, to be able to grow, your wealth, and not be in a place where, when money shortage happens, inflation, whatever may happen, in the future, you'll be in a better position because you've educated yourself on it. And not just educate yourself on it, but you took some type of action to pursue, invest, and do something that can, help your future generations. So, yeah.
Well, all right. Mr. Sean.
Wow.
What you got? Come on, what you got?
Well,
I know you got something.
Well, yeah, I do. I'm gonna piggyback definitely off of my business partner Jamie and stuff. look, here's the thing about maneuvering with technology now in this current time. Look, technology is the great equalizer. It is the great equalizer. And here's what I mean by that, okay? That we're finding out that young people who are millennials are now learning technology and making just as much money as CEOs of some of the largest corporations in the United States. And they're not even having to go through finishing college, and much less even high school sometimes. You got people that maybe were, maybe are disabled who weren't able to do a skilled labor job, where they were fixing houses and being on top of roofs, but they learned technology and doing, graphic design or building websites that are now making, 3 times more income now sitting at home. Okay. Mm-hmm. Technology doesn't recognize you by your color. It doesn't, recognize you by your educational background. They don't care if you were a felon. Doesn't, matter if you were, dropped out of high school. It doesn't matter about any of that. It doesn't matter if you're a single mom, single dad, if you were, a childless, a fatherless and motherless child. It doesn't matter about any of that. Technology is the great leveling platform right now. And so what we have to do now is you have to learn to embrace that. I know a lot of you that are watching this, I still run into people that are intimidated by a computer. Do you understand that we're almost 4 decades in using the computer? Okay, we're 40 years into technology age and people are still afraid to say, I don't really do much on a computer. Okay, that's just like saying, well, I only like going in the bank to get my money. I'm scared of an ATM. You know what I'm saying? You got to make a decision now to utilize the tools of this time and era. Now you're right, you don't have to, because we understand there's a culture that don't even do electronic stuff and they still can exist. And that's great. If that's the choice, then that's great. But if you're really trying to say, how can I really make the most of this time period? How can I really, through this pandemic, through the changes that's happening, how can I better my skill set level? Well, you need to go ahead and start embracing technology. Okay. Dr. Jewel Tankard, my mentor and business partner, she talks about it all the time. Just a few years ago, you would put money in the bank. You'd have to go ahead and go and stand in line, put in a check, and then the check wouldn't clear until, tomorrow afternoon. And then you couldn't get cash until it cleared and all this other stuff. Guess what? Now you take your phone and you take a picture of your check and it's just instantly in your account. Okay. Before, if I had to send money across the country, I got to get up, go to Western Union. I got to fill out the form. I got to pay the money. They got to type it in. I got to stay. And then, I call back, here's my code. It's 555. Did you get the money yet? But guess what? Now you got Cash App. People are literally just going ahead and typing in a number and you're instantly sending money across the country, across the world in a matter of less than a millionth of a second. So you understand that this is the great equalizer technology. All right. You see, now you said a great example about churches. We got small churches now that have as many parishioners watching online like a mega church. So now that's what I mean. It's a great equalizer now. Now people that are getting online, where people couldn't attend church, now people are watching their services from around the world. Where you only were catering to your small community. Now you got people in Africa, UK, China, and everywhere else that are able to get online and see pastors that have never, even stepped foot out of the United States now. It's the great equalizer. And so what I'm saying to you is that there's new ways of how we make money. And the whole reason we're even doing this Facebook Live is not because, we just want to be popular here on Facebook. It's because we're really trying to educate you and give you the confidence to let you know that it's okay. Embracing technology is not a scam. It is not here to just, yes, scams do happen, but guess what? There were scams way before technology even happened. There were scams in Jesus's time. Okay, so scamming won't go anywhere. Okay, but the whole point is if you educate yourself, okay, if you embrace it, if you start to understand it, you'll see the scams coming a mile away. Okay, you can't just sit back in a corner and say, I'm just going to avoid it, because you can't. Every part of your life has to deal with technology. You can't register your car without, putting a technical thing to your car that checks your emission. You can't go apply for a license, a passport. You can't get your blood checked, your blood pressure checked without something technologically attached to it. You see what I'm saying? And so this is why, we're at a time where I really want and encourage you out there to embrace, technology. So right now, of course, we're part, and I'm just going to close my part out. We're part of a platform that I believe is the best technological breakthrough as far as learning is concerned. People don't understand. We're forward thinkers here in the I Am Master Academy. See, schools now, because of the pandemic, they're going virtual. You understand that? They're just thinking about going virtual. We've been virtual for over 7 years. Not only have we been virtual in the I Am Master Academy, we have mastered being virtual to where we have over 280,000 students worldwide that plug into this platform. Okay, because they understand that this is the great equalizer. Hey, I can learn wealth principles online now, and I don't have to go to Harvard. I don't have to go on the campus of Yale. I don't have to go to Wharton School of Business to learn. I can just plug into this platform and learn, if not the same, but better education, because this is a proven platform that has created very successful money earners all around the world. So I encourage you to really just, replay this whole feed. We really want you to listen to this. We want you to share it out. I want to hear your comments too on if you got something that you got from this feed right here. But basically, technology is, the future, but it's now. Okay. It's right now. And so don't ignore it. Don't get intimidated by it. Go ahead and link up with somebody, who's on this call or somebody near you that's in the technology and say, you know what? I admit I'm intimidated. I don't really get this whole trading thing on the phone. I don't really know how y'all make this sort of money like this, but I'm willing to learn. Start changing your conversation. Stop speaking fear. Stop speaking doubt. Stop speaking intimidation and start, opening up like a little kid. See, your kids are successful and they learn fast. We say, oh, Johnny learned so fast. Oh, Kim learned so fast. Oh, why they learn so fast? Because they're not speaking intimidation and fear. They're saying, what's that? How does that happen? How does it work? Why is this happening? Why is that? You see what I'm saying? And they're accelerating their learning because they're constantly in the conversation of what is it? I need to know. And then we get to an age where we start seeing too many things. And then guess what? I've seen too much. I don't really want to know. You see how that's counterproductive to our success? We stop somewhere along the way saying, I want to know what that is. I'm curious to know what that is. Kids don't know what scams are and kids don't really care. If it doesn't work for them, guess what kids do? They go on to something else. Well, what do? We shut down. People say, I'm never doing that again. I'm not going to try it. But it works. It's just what you happen to get into didn't work, but that the whole thing works. That's why kids, millennials, and everybody are surpassing, elder people, because they're still in that, I want to know. Well, it didn't work here. I'm going to try it over here. So that's what I encourage you to do is embrace technology because it's the great equalizer. Go ahead and start to learn. Go ahead and open up your mind and start asking questions. But like Leona said, who's one of my great business partners, she said a key thing. She said, look, if you get your research, here's the thing. Don't get your research from somebody who's never done what you want to do. There's a lot of you who says, I want to get in real estate investing. I want to be a realtor. Well, you don't talk to somebody who never got a real estate license.
Exactly.
You find somebody who's been 30 years in the game, who's a top millionaire, a realtor, and then you ask them, what do I need to do to be like you? You see what I'm saying? You don't go and, ask somebody who, how to go ahead and start a business from your, and I'm not knocking relatives, but you don't ask your uncle and your auntie and they never owned a business. They've never looked at books before. You know what I'm saying? You're going to ask somebody not only that has a business, but who has a successful business. Too many of y'all are out here asking people that have failed. Okay, y'all asking people that failed. You're not going to get to the top. You're not going to get to a winner status by asking failing people. Okay, you go seek out the winners and you fight for their time. You sit there and you take them to lunch, you take them to dinner, you sit there and get on a call and say, how can I win like you? Okay, that's how you do it. That's what helped me become successful. That's how come these ladies that are on here are successful, because they asked the questions and they weren't intimidated. And yeah, they heard the people, well, they ain't gonna work. They ain't gonna, well, okay, well, tell me how you did. Did you mean you made 100,000 and you lost 20 and now you saying it don't work? How that work out for you? Well, no, I ain't never touched that thing before. I mean, it looked kind of scamish, and I had heard. Who you hear from? Did you hear from a rich person? Oh no, you heard from another person that never did it before. So now we're creating a legacy within ourselves of doubt. Do you understand how the power of the tongue is so important? You see, you can create a conversation of doubt, or you can create a conversation of opportunity. And if your family starts having a conversation of opportunity, then guess what? Opportunities start arising because everybody's on the lookout for opportunities. Everybody's on the lookout. But if everybody around you talking about that don't work, I don't try it, then nobody gets anywhere. And now we have a whole generation of people that are waiting on a stimulus check.
Look, hey, when you were talking about, connections and people, talk to the right people and everything like that. Again, I'm going back to this Tony Robbins. It was like an hour and some change long, but I listened to the entire thing. Now, when we're talking about scams, pyramid schemes, that's the one big thing that I hear so much. Oh my God. I'm not even going to go into that because we've been on here for an hour. But what I will do is this. When people talk about trading and saying, oh, you can't make any money in that and blah, 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 I'm gonna throw this name out there. Number one, I ask that if you have heard about day trading, any type of day trading, okay, Google the man named George Soros. Google George Soros, Soros. And if you are interested in trading, period, I want you to get back with me and tell me what you found. So since trading is so fraudulent and it's a scam, and get back to me and let me know what you found. Tony Robbins even spoke about trading in the interview. He was talking about how financial institutions trade your money, and there was a gentleman that has made way more money trading than Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is a person that everybody knows in this era, right? So my thing is, Tony Robbins is talking about it. We listen to people, that don't look like us, and that we saying, okay, well, we need to listen to somebody that has money. Tony Robbins has money. And that's what he was talking about, trading on top of businesses and how to build the business and everything. So it's not a scam. Unfortunately, like Sean said, you probably had a bad experience. So now you are closed off to anything. Anytime anyone talks about any form of trading, investing, or I'm not doing that. Or you would rather give your money to someone and trust that they're going to do it for you. Mm-hmm. We talked about that before with Queen, where you have people in Nigeria giving their money to people and people are running off with it, or saying, hey, I'm going to give you 10%. If you profit that 10% of what I'm going to give you your 10%, or I'm going to give you your 8 and I'm only going to take 2 for doing, you don't know what they're taking. You don't know how much you made because you just handed your money away to somebody. So when we're talking about moving into this digital era, maneuvering in it, studying and doing your own research is imperative, ladies and gentlemen. Reading is fundamental and it is imperative. It is not an option. It is not a suggestion. It is a necessity to do your own research and read. And after you do your own research and you're reading, now you connect with people who can help you to get started and to move in whatever direction you are looking to move because you have done your research. Okay? If you want to know why we are talking the way we're talking and where we're getting some of our information, one of our mentors is Dr. Jewel Tankard. Google her. Tankard. Jewel, like a diamond. Jewel, okay? Dr. Jewel Tankard. Google her. We're not just saying this just because.
Right.
Okay.
Let me cut in there if I can.
Yes, sir.
So look, so I'm a very practical person. It's great to talk about theory on what you should do and all that. So you said something key. You said go ahead and research and read. So let me give you some things that I really want you to read, because these are the things that since the pandemic, they've been talking about Forex trading, cryptocurrency trading, and all this. So go ahead and pick up a Forbes magazine. Forbes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So Forbes magazine, over the last couple of months, they're going to talk about articles that talk about trading. Okay.
Yep.
So if you're respect the Forbes, $1 million, $1 billion lists and everything, then go ahead and look at that. The next thing, go ahead and look at a money magazine. Okay. Money used to be very popular, of course, about maybe 10 years ago, but it's still circulating. And on the top of Money magazine, they're always going to talk about articles on trading. Okay. They're going to talk about, these are reporters that are investigating to find out where scams are. But guess what? In each of their feature articles, they're always talking about trading. Okay. Look at the investment magazines. Okay. Any investment magazines that's out there, work from home type things, is not just talking about working home, but they talk about investing in all of these magazines. See, a lot of people talk about they want to do the homework, but that's just an excuse. Because I promise you, if I talk to you and then I asked you what type of research you did, you went on Google and then you saw the first negative review that was out there. And please understand that everything in the world has a negative review with it. Okay, every hair product, every piece of food, every restaurant, I don't care if it's the best 5-star, somebody in there got a negative review. The point is, you got to be able to decipher through that part and find out, does what they're saying work for you? Is there more positive than the negative? And then here's the thing, try it out. I always encourage people to try it out. You have nothing to lose if you try it out. Right. So the thing about trading, let me show you this. You can start with a demo account. A demo account is just a virtual account without having to invest your own money that you can try out. And so a lot of people didn't know that. And so I'm educating you on that you can start with a demo, and then you can kind of see, can you take $1,000 and grow it into $3,000? And if you can do that, we can show you, we can partner with you and show you the right way to do that. Then guess what? Now you got part of your research done, because now you're not asking somebody who's never done it. Not only are you asking people to do it on a daily basis, but now you can try it without minimal risk. There's no reason that in this day and time that people should know how to compound and grow their money. Every wealthy person that you see on a Forbes list, I promise you, they invest in the markets. The same thing that unknowledgeable people say is a scam is that, I promise you, the same top 5 things that every rich person in the world does. Every rich person. There's not one rich person on the Forbes list that does not invest their money in the markets. There is not one, pretty much any investor rich person on that Forbes list that doesn't invest in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency or in Forex. Because if our Treasury Department does it, if our government does it, if all of our banks do it, if all of your local banks do it, if the large retail, traders like Merrill Lynch, Vanguard, and all these other people do it, then why would you think that it's not working? Because they've been doing it for decades. The whole thing is you don't understand it. And that's what we want to take away from you, the fear of understanding. We want you to understand it. We're not on here just talking to you, trying to push something down your throat. But the whole problem is that we're always, there's a section of us in our population, and I'm not talking about color or anything. There's just a section of thinkers that are always behind the 8 ball. Yeah, they're always late to find out. If I talked about Cash App and you still don't know what Cash App is, and we're almost 3 years into using it, you're behind the 8 ball. Okay. If you're still wondering what Bitcoin is and you think it's a scamish thing, well, let me tell you, it's here. Regardless whether you like it or not, some of the biggest institutions in the countries in the world are using Bitcoin now. Okay. So you're still behind the 8 ball. All right. So just because you decide to be ignorant of the fact does not stop it from happening, and you don't stop it from being actual. So that's some of the things I want to encourage, if you're listening to this, to do your research. Go to the top magazines, go to the top periodicals, and read what they talk about every day. They're talking about every single day about buying gold and trading gold. They're talking about trading silver. They're talking about trading oil. They're talking about trading just about everything. The NAS 100, the US 30, the GER 30, all these things they're talking about on a daily basis. And the point is it in your conversation? Probably not. Probably not. And so what I want you to leave with this call, I appreciate everyone that's on watching. our little chocolate faces on here. When you leave this call, I want you to start working on the next 30 days of changing your conversation. If you're curious about money, I want you to speak to people that you probably admire. Maybe you got that uncle that has a little rental business and he's doing pretty well. Maybe you got that aunt that has her own little convenience store or hair salon. And I want you to start changing your conversations from what's on reality TV. And I want you to go ahead and give them a call and say, you know what, Unc, I want to talk about money. I just want to understand it a little better. I want to know how I can get more of it. And I promise you, if you continue to have those conversations over the next 30 days, you're going to find yourself in a whole different type of conversation. And you're going to start attracting more opportunities to get to grow money because you're having the conversation about it. Whatever you speak about the most, I promise you, that's what you're going to attract the most. You're going to attract the most. You keep going, talk about the pandemic every day, it's going to go around you eventually and stuff. You start talking about how depressed and sad and lonely you are, it's going to manifest even more. But if you start having conversations about happiness, positivity, and in the things that's happening in the future and how money is coming to you because of all the opportunities that are around you through technology, I'm telling you, you're going to start seeing all kind of things pop up. You're going to start noticing all kind of magazine articles and things on the internet popping up that you can get involved in. So that's kind of why I wanted to interrupt there. I got a question for you. But I got a question for you, Leona Clark. So
yes, sir.
Prosperity Calls. What inspired you to even start something like Prosperity Calls? What is the mission of Prosperity Calls? Why did you create it?
So, like I stated earlier about my upbringing, okay, I didn't have access to information. And being that I have, traveled all over the world thanks to the Army, whatever, I gained some information here and there, but it wasn't all in one area. It was just a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here. So it was like scattershot. So for me, because I know, a large amount of people, I know a large amount of people that do not have access and don't know where to go or how to even go about investing, trading, whatever it is. I knew that that was one way for me to be able to get the information out there. So yes, I talk to people, on Facebook and Instagram, but having an actual place that you can go to get a good amount of information in one area, I figured that would probably be the best thing because I'm all about building generational wealth. It's too many people that are out here that don't have access and don't know. And the United States has the most billionaires in the world. And if y'all didn't know that, please go to Forbes again, like my dear brother Sean has said. So if we have all of these billionaires and we still have, this high poverty rate and all of these people unemployed and so many people that are homeless, and we're looking at a housing apocalypse and all of this stuff, why do we not have more people sharing information? Why do we not have more people looking for that information? So for me, I'm one of those people. I've always been a giver, and I figure you can't say that no one tried to tell you, because Leona Clark has tried to tell you. It's up to you to take the information and apply it, as Jamie has said. Take action on it. So with that being said, I'm going to end this with something that I have recently heard and I love it. But David has said on one of the webinars, I've been listening to him all week and I'm inspired and I'm pumped up. So I'm about to share this. What David has said. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 4 things that money is supposed to do. Okay. Number 1, it is supposed to be accumulated, meaning it's supposed to be residual. So when we were talking about business ownership, where you create that system that's duplicatable, like McDonald's, Walmart, Target, all of that, that's what we're talking about. So that's number 1. It's supposed to be residual. We'll say that. Number 2, it is supposed to be multiplied. Okay. So when we're talking about trading, we're compounding our money, correct? In the market, we keep our money in our account and we're just compounding it, building it. Number 3, money is supposed to be protected. Don't just put your money in a bank account and just let it sit there. Are you accumulating any interest? How much interest are you getting on your money when you sit it in a bank account, savings or checking? Versus I'll use me as an example. I have heard multiple times, invest, invest, invest first. Then you do everything else. So money is meant to be protected. And then lastly, money is meant to be passed on to future generations. I am big on building generational wealth. So when Mr. David said that, I was like, I got to write that down. I got to say that. You know what I'm saying? Because it got to me. And I'm looking to work with people who have that mindset that I have, or they may not have the access, but they have that desire and that grit and that hunger, you know? So that's who I'm looking to work with and to help. Because I know if you have that same hunger, grit, and mentality that I have, we're going to do wonders. We're going to change the world. We're going to shock the world, Craig. That's what we're about to do. Okay? So if y'all can, please, ladies and gentlemen, y'all have heard from all four of us. You see the IGs up there. If you have any questions, whether it's for me, Miss Juliet, Miss Jamie, Mr. Sean, you know, go to our IG, send a direct message, comment, do something, reach out to us to just ask those questions. Also, please comment, like, comment, share on this video, and let us know if there's something that you want to know more about. And we can go out and get the information. If we don't have it on hand, we can find that information. We know between the four of us, we know too many people to not be able to help you out. So did anyone want to end or say anything else before I end this live? It's been great, by the way. I want to thank y'all.
I loved it. I just love, having this wealth conversations. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Leona. You're an awesome business partner, leader, all that great stuff. And yeah, I just look forward to doing more of these.
Awesome. Anybody else?
Thanks for the opportunity, for having me on this conversation. I really appreciated it.
Yes, ma'am. You, Miss Jamie,
Thank
anything?
you for the opportunity. Yeah, it's all about the bank. Get your bags. That's all I'm saying. Get them.
Yes, ma'am.
Get your bags.
Yes, ma'am. So with that being said, I hope y'all enjoy this and definitely have a great night and an even better weekend. And we will see y'all again next Friday, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all have a good night.
Woo!